If you could ride one road anywhere in the world, would you expect the best one to end right here in Quebec? Because in this video we're riding Route 138 until the pavement simply disappears. And so the adventure began. But first I had to get to La Maison de Spike, the third time this year. He lives 666 kilometers east of the center of the universe, so I was up at 6 a.m. to cross central Ontario. Having already ridden across Ontario 4 times this summer, and despite the beautiful route I took, I was not looking forward to the ride. But it was great. There was no traffic at all until I reached Renfrew. It was just perfect.
Well, I made it to Renfrew at 11:15. It's been an easy drive, but the further east I've gone, the warmer it's gotten, and it is now steaming 28.5 degrees. Just past Renfrew, I will hop onto the highway and I will slab it all the way to Montreal. Yes, I deserve this. Yes, I do.
By Ottawa, it was already 30 degrees and I was baked by the time I rolled into Verdun. Tomorrow we'll pass Quebec City on Route 138 towards Tadoussac. We expect cooler temps, some rain, but that's all part of the adventure. It's day 2 and we're leaving Montreal and southern Quebec behind. Our goal is to get to the solitude and natural beauty of the north. But the heavily populated areas between Montreal and Quebec City mean that we have to take the congested and boring Autoroute 20.
We are stopped in Malbay, Quebec. And we're just gonna go into the grocery store, grab some snacks, and continue heading east. What a great parking lot for a grocery store overlooking the St. Lawrence River.
Once we crossed Riviera Malbay, the ride transformed. We wound our way up and down the northernmost edge of the Appalachian Mountains. With sheer rock faces on one side and sweeping views of the St. Lawrence River on the other, the North Shore is a stark contrast to the flat farmland of the South Shore. It feels like another world.
Route 138 is already blowing my mind. Crossing the Saguenay River on the ferry to Tadoussac.
We crossed the Saguenay River on the ferry into Tadoussac, where we stopped at a little grocery store to pick up provisions. Dinner was my signature dish, Shipwreck Casserole. But since we're in Quebec, we leveled it up with cheese curds. Spoiler alert, it was amazing. We hurried to clean up as the rain rolled in. Looks like we'll get a bit of rain tonight, more overnight, and likely wake up to thunderstorms. Day 3, and it was the day that the rain came down. Jane Morgan may have sung that rain was Mother Earth smiling, but Jane clearly never rode a motorcycle in northern Quebec. No love blossomed for me today. Hey, if you don't get the reference, Google it. If you do get the reference, you're probably too old to be riding in the rain. It poured overnight, but the Weather Network promised a 1-hour break between 6 and 7 o'clock, and they nailed it. We packed our soak gear into the panniers just as the skies opened up again. Unusually, we hadn't fueled up the night before, so we rolled into the village, only to find the gas station didn't open until 8. That bought us some time for a great diner breakfast and let the worst of the storm catch up and blow past. Of course, later we caught up to it and rode through it again. Despite the rain and the clouds, Route 138 was still a thrill. Mountain climbs, steep drops into hidden bays, and the salty St. Lawrence air kept me hooked. Even the best waterproof gear eventually lets water in. It drips down your collar, runs up your sleeve, and eventually burrows through the fabric. By Baie-Comeau we were done, soaked, cold, and ready to bail. We finally called it, scoring a room at the Travel Lodge. Havre Saint-Pierre, here we come.
This is a cute downtown in Baie-Comeau. You can't see anything else above the buildings because it's so foggy.
We're riding along the coast to Havre Saint-Pierre, and there's a promise of spectacular scenery all along the way.
After a rainy ride yesterday, it looks like the skies are going to clear a bit for us today. We just came out of Baie-Comeau, and as we got some altitude, we came out of the fog. And then 30 seconds later, we're back in the fog. Looks like it might be one of those days for a bit. Woo-hoo, that is foggy. I can't see a thing. Oh, there's a car there without his lights on. Fantastic. Turn your lights on, people. Full lights. Look at him disappear. Oh, there's one coming here. This is a wee bit nutty. 16 degrees and I barely saw this truck. He doesn't even have his full lights on, and he's dark gray. So I came up behind him. It's a bit nutty because we're out of it here, then we're in it, then we're out of it. Now it's an adventure, Michael. Yep, legit. My eyes are gonna be peeled like my eggs were. Oh, we're out of the... Hey, no more fog. It sure is pretty when we can see it. And back into the fog. Woo-hoo-hoo! Belvedere Saint Panacre. I don't think we'll go there because we won't be able to see anything.
But the weather was not our friend today. We rode in and out of fog the whole day. We had some nice patches, but some of our sightseeing was curtailed because of the misty skies.
Ooh, this is steep, and are we gonna go through a tunnel? No, I didn't understand that sign. Oh, here's the tunnel. Yeah. Then I did understand the sign. Well, that's cool. Oh, that's nice. Oh, what a beautiful ride this would be if we could see the scenes, but the road is fantastic. Well, that's what the St. Lawrence looks like then.
In the afternoon, we got more sunshine and less fog, but we still got to see plenty of rivers, waterfalls, and hidden coves along the St. Lawrence. Route 138 definitely breaks the old Quebec stereotype of terrible pavement.
Cheese. Just stopped at a random place somewhere 100 kilometers east of Sept-Îles, and it's the most beautiful little rest stop. It's cooled off a bit. It's down to 18 degrees. It was up at 22 not too long ago, and we're just approaching Sept-Îles. I take a deep breath of that salty air. Yummy. Sept-Îles. And we can see nothing because of the fog. And now we are back into the fog. What a crazy day. Temperature has dropped from 20 degrees to 16. Oh, this is fantastic. It'd be nice if the sun was out, but what can you do? My dad asked why I torture myself riding in cold and isolated places. And it's not torture at all. I love it. I only have good days and great days when I'm on my motorcycle. The deceased of Sheldrake have a beautiful view. Very dramatic, holy smokes. I want to live in that house right there.
We spent the night in the charming town of Havre-Saint-Pierre, which is dramatically nicer than Sept-Îles. Maybe the kind of place that Tiger Barb might want to retire to one day. Like so many of the Quebec towns, they have an excellent municipal campground. The community spirit in La Belle Province is different than the rest of the continent.
It's 4:30 now, and we've probably got another hour to go, and we caught back up to the fog. Temperature's down to 14.5 degrees. Woohoo! That's chilly. I might have to change my gloves and my sweater. And predictably, we're back in the fog again. We're planning on getting a campsite right on the beach. So it might be a chilly one because it's only 13 degrees now. So thank goodness I got a great sleeping bag. We are at the municipal campsite. Okay, we've arrived at Havre-Saint-Pierre and the municipal campground. And Mike and I are just going to walk down to the beach, which is right there, straight across the road from where we are. So what do you think about today, Mikey?
Well, it's a fabulous day. Lots of fog though. At certain points, I couldn't see your taillights for part of the ride.
The fog was crazy and didn't make any sense. Sometimes it was foggy up high, and sometimes it was foggy down at the river. Sometimes you just went around a corner and it was foggy. But beauty. We got some nice stuff to see on the way back because we missed some. It's our first nice day. Well, Havre-Saint-Pierre.
I like it.
Yeah, we do. I'll come back.
The ride east from Harvey was flat and lonely. In the 200 kilometers to Natashquan, we only passed a handful of cars and settlements were few and far between.
We've been on the road for about 40 minutes so far, and it's been dead flat, and now we're just getting into some areas with some rock and some undulations in the road. Quite pretty, and the isolation is crazy. We've only passed one car in the last 45 minutes going the other way. We see nothing in front of us, nothing behind us. It's fantastic. Pretty sure that we're in the taiga now. If you look at the forest of stick, these black spruce that cover this area, actually cover this latitude around the world, from Russia to Norway, Sweden, Finland, and across North America. .138 east. Loving it. The road is so good. So much fun to ride. Now, some adventure motorcycle riders would consider this boring, but as a motorcycle touring road, I find it superb. We're on the lands of the Innu, and you'll see as you ride through here, lots of hunting camps that are set up, and they'll come back in season. And some of the camps will have toboggans to pull behind their sleds, and some of them have skidoos just sitting out there waiting to be used, waiting for the snow. It's pretty cool. we are entering the village of Joan Baez. Look how cool this is. The Piashitty River. Look at the penguins having a Coke with a polar bear. I like this road. I like that house. That's gorgeous. Okay, that's where I want to live, right there, Mike. Obviously, this was the site of a fire not too long ago. It started to grow green along the edge of the road, but look at that. We saw a lot of that when we were on the Trans-Taiga, and we're only a year out from the fire there, so I'm not sure when the fire came through here, but it hasn't regrown yet. Well, how pretty is that? And there's a house there, right at the rapids, or the chute. Cheese! Here we are at a random cove, and it is so fantastic. I'm so happy to be here. What a great day. It's been 17 degrees and sunny. There's Spike down at the sea. Give us a wave, Spike. It looks like he's on the phone, but he's actually scanning a fishing app, and he's about to spear a salmon that we're going to eat for dinner. This is super cool, Spike.
As we approached Natashquan, the road grew twistier and it wound across exposed ridges of the Canadian Shield.
Bienvenue à Aguanish. This is the Aguanish River.
We stopped in Natashquan for lunch, fish and chips naturally. Then we topped up with gas and pushed on to Kegaska.
This is the end of the road.
Who installed the sign?
Yeah, well, where am I supposed to put my sticker?
Disappointingly, the famous sign marking the end of the road was stolen on the Sunday before we arrived. It used to be a popular photo stop and a spot where travelers plastered their stickers. We did it. We reached the end. You literally cannot ride any further east in Quebec.
Oh, this is where people are camping.
Is that free camping?
Yeah, this is free camping here. Look at the ocean rolling in. How cool is this?
To continue, you need to board a supply ship that hops from village to village all the way to Blanc-Sablon, where the road links to Labrador.
Behind me are the remains of the original ship sailed across the Atlantic by Jacques Cartier. He sailed into this bay in 1964 and discovered North America. Imagine the surprise of the Innu people who lived here to hear from Jacques Cartier that he discovered them.
There isn't anything to see or do in Kegaska, so we doubled back to Natashquan and set up at the municipal campground for the night. Once again, our tent is just a few meters from the beach.
We're at location 50 degrees north, 10 minutes, 61 degrees west, 48 minutes.
Tomorrow we're going to be riding west all day, and we'll get to see all the beautiful views that we missed on the way up. Stay with me to see some of the most beautiful roads on the continent. This scenery will make you say, wow.
It is 5 after 9, 18 degrees and sunshine. As we leave, marvelous. It's going to be a great day, Spike. It already is. You're the best. Here is the restaurant in town, Le Côte du Large, the taste of the ocean.
We retraced our path west through the amazing scenery we loved on the way east. The beauty is remarkable, but what really strikes me is the isolation. Hardly any cars, and we didn't see a single big truck before lunch.
What a beautiful little cove and village here. Holy smokes. A little bit of paradise here. Oh, look at that river, man. It's nice. This is the subarctic tundra. It's kind of cool.
At lunch, our server was an absolute delight. Her Acadian accent sprinkled with English words meant I actually understood everything she said. Possibly the first full conversation I'd managed since entering Quebec.
The view from our restaurant in Arc Saint-Pierre, the Promenade Restaurant. Fabulous little place with fantastic service and a great view. We're now just west of Harvey St. Pierre, starting to see it get a little more mountainous, and soon we'll be reaching the Appalachians. Pretty unique looking landscape out here. Oh, how sweet is this?
From Harvey St. Pete, we aim west for Sept-Îles. Once again, the rugged wilds and magnificent rivers have me in awe.
Oh man, that is idyllic. With just a little bit of fireweed in there. Oh, in my Cape Breton video, I said I've left some fog up top like Bob Fosse. Yeah. So Bob Fosse is like a composer. He's not. No, it's Bob Ross is the painter. Oh, there's a seal. Fuck. A fuck. Oh my word, look at that. Even Bob Fosse couldn't paint that. We've just randomly stopped at a beautiful cove here. We're gonna walk down to the beach.
We pushed on to Port Cartier, and that was a win. Our home for the night was the municipal campground, and they gave us the biggest sight of the trip so far at the lowest price. 2 thumbs up for Port Cartier. Tomorrow will be a shorter ride, only about 375 kilometers to Tadoussac. We'll get to see all the stuff that we missed in the fog and rain.
Woke up this morning in Port Cartier. It was bright and sunny. And by the time I got back from the showers, it was overcast. It felt like it was going to rain. And now it looks like we're going to be riding in the clouds all the way to Tadoussac. Anyway, it's still a beautiful day. It's 16.5 degrees, perfect riding conditions. So let's go. Fog. Oh well, looks like another foggy day. Probably better than riding in rain. More fog. The fog is gone. We're in the mountains east of Baie-Comeau, and we're ready to rumble. Let's go. Oh, this is pretty. So pretty. Woo-hoo! Appalachian mountain riding. Michael, how the hell did we do this in all that fog?
On the way east, the entire stretch between Baie-Comeau and Sept-Îles, one of the most scenic rides on Route 138, was lost in the mist. But today the moto god smiled on us and the fog lifted. Once we hit the Appalachians, the ride was breathtaking. Mountain curves with views of the St. Lawrence River that you just won't find anywhere else. Absolutely spectacular.
Oh my goodness gracious, this is freaking amazing. All right, we are leaving Baie-Comeau on Route 138. There's their famous roundabout statue, tribute to the power workers of Quebec. Bright sunshine, 21 degrees, and hopeful. We're hopeful that we have sunshine all the way down here to Natashquan, although we're expecting rain as we get there. Wow. I'm gonna miss these views as we get closer to Quebec City. The temperature has dropped from 21 to 16 degrees, and the skies look like rain ahead. I'm looking up there, and that's where we're going, over that hill, and that's where it's going to rain if it's not raining already. We're right on the edge of the sunshine. Why is it raining on me when it's sunny? Let me pull in behind the Real Housewives of Natashquan, and they got full wipers going now. Feels like we're playing H2O roulette.
We got the tents pitched to the soundtrack of Thor's Thunderous Orchestra. Just as we zipped up the last flaps, the skies opened again. The evening ended with Spike and I huddled in the campground laundry room, staying dry while the machine spun. Good night from the confluence of the Saguenay and St. Lawrence rivers. Well, it poured most of the night. By the morning, our campsite was soaked and we had to pack up wet tents. I hate doing that, but with gray skies and thick fog, nothing was going to dry, so we stuffed it all in and carried on. Soon enough, we were set out on Route 172 towards Alma. It turned out to be a lovely ride, tracing the valley floor beside the Saguenay Fjord.
You look at the Garmin, a nice squiggly pink line. I'm walking on sunshine, baby. It wouldn't be so bad to travel around here at 30 kilometers an hour. You'd see more scenery. You'd get run over, mind you. So up there is where Diane Fossey studied the great gorillas of Quebec up until their extinction. Yeah, while she was here, she had to be called Diane Fossey. Oh, he's pulling over to let us through. Oh, merci beaucoup. I will flash my thank yous at him. Now you can give her all the way up to the next guy. until he pulls over.
Now I have to admit something. For years I thought charcuterie was the name of my favorite cheese and dried meat platter. Turns out that's a charcuterie board. Easy mistake to make, eh? Anyway, past the surprisingly large and surprisingly ugly city of charcuterie, the scenery flattened into dull farmland. Instead of looping around Lac Saint-Jean, we pushed on and landed in La Tuque. Now, if you're not Canadian, this part may not sound funny, but for us maple syrup people, toque means something different. It's what Brits call a knit cap and Aussies call a beanie. And as a Canadian who really needs one, I'm oddly thrilled to be here. I love you all. Good night from La Tuque.
It's noon. We're going to be riding down towards Shawinigan from Latuc. We're going to get to Shawinigan, maybe take a bypass and then head over to Vallée de Lac where Spike's Cabin is. And we're going to spend 2 days or 2 nights at Spike's Cabin. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to head back home to Ontario. Let's go. Okay, so it seems like that's the right tune to be playing on Quebec roads. Rock Me Gently.
We followed the stunning Route 155, which for the most part had smooth pavement, and winds along the magnificent Saint Maurice River. The ride between Latuc and Shawinigan is not to be missed.
Look at these views. Fantastic. La belle province. Lots of bikes, lots of boats, lots of sunshine. Fantastic. Look at those motorcycles on water. Oh my God, everybody must be in heaven today. Labor Day and being out on the boat.
We bypassed Shawinigan on the highway and ended up west of town on some twisty and extremely bumpy back roads. That led us to Route 347 and 348. This stretch is legendary. Ride it once and you'll understand why. This reminded me of the Tail of the Dragon, only with worse tarmac and even worse Quebec drivers, and way longer. So it's not at all like the Tail of the Dragon really, but it was equal parts thrilling and terrifying, a death-defying ride that I'd happily do again and again and again. I've got mixed emotions about being back here. The highlight of the day was seeing Elsie Bovine, aka Madam Spike, but I can't help shake the memories of my last visit to this place. Spike built the cabin himself, but being of leprechaun proportions, his steps were designed for much smaller feet. The last time I was here, those steps confused this big tiger and I took a tumble that left me with a separated shoulder. I hope I can remain upright this time. The final climb up the loose, technical trail to the cabin was a great way to end what was otherwise a near perfect day of riding. Good night from Val de Lac, Quebec.
Bye, Mike. Oh, Mike. Ah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, hold on. I'll drive down this crazy driveway. After tipping my bike over, turning it around at Spike's Cabin, I got good and sweaty lifting it up, and now I'm on the road. I'm looking about 8.5 hours of riding. Anyhow, it's a beautiful day. It's 13 degrees. Should be a sunny day all the way. Let's go.
Professional and amateur psychologists alike could probably explain why I always screw up on the last day of a trip. It doesn't matter if it's a few days or a few weeks, my last day is guaranteed to be chaos.
My Garmin just came on and said that there's road closures and added 90 minutes to the trip with a big detour. I checked on Google and no such detour exists in Google. So I've switched off the Garmin and I'm going with Google Maps. I'm on Route 50, and funny enough, once I got on this route, the one that Google suggested, Garmin found the same path. So I don't know what was confusing Garmin, but it is resolved. I am turning onto Highway 60 at Renfrew. And so I'm done with the motorways for the rest of the way home, and it was fairly painless, other than the confusion between my Garmin and reality. As I pull into Renfrew, I realize I didn't put my sandwiches in. I left them in the fridge at Spike's Cabin.
So I had breakfast at A&W and carried on. The ride home was perfect. empty roads, sunshine, and a comfortable 21 degrees.
I'm on Highway 28, all by myself on a beautiful sunny afternoon, and I can just see that the colors are starting to turn on the trees. It's the first Tuesday in September, but fall is near. Woo-hoo! I know I consider this just a commute, but my goodness, from Renfrew to Collingwood, quite a nice ride. I do love Central Ontario. I'm now about half an hour west of Bancroft and coming through the Canadian Shield, and it's beautiful. What a great day. Had a long talk with a cool guy at the gas station in Bancroft. Carl, if you're watching, hey.
From Bancroft, it was just a smooth ride home. Today's ride, 700 kilometers. Trip total, just over 4,100 kilometers.
Well, there we go, folks. I'm home at the center of the universe. 2,000 kilometers to Kegaska and back. That was wonderful. It's always nice to be home. Thanks for coming along. I love you all. Good night from the center of the universe.
Go forth with an open mind and most importantly an open heart. And remember, self-care is not selfish. If you've stayed this long, you must have liked what you've seen, so please hit like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and share it with your friends. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps out my little channel. Let's go. Behind me are the remains of the SS Minnow. It left on a 3-hour tour and was never found again.